My name is Matt Alaya with trainingwithmatt.com. This video demonstrates how I was able to take two kids, brother and sister, and completely teach them how to swim an efficient form of freestyle, also known as a front crawl. I'm a huge believer of breaking it up into three simple steps. 1, hand hits the hand. 2, thumb hits the thigh. 3, lay your head on your pillow, also known as that shoulder. This first lap is just raw footage of brother and sister swimming 25 yards with no instruction. All I have them do is swim like you normally swim so I can get an idea of what we have and what we need to work on. Lap 2, I finally give them instruction. Again, very simple. All I have them do is try to have one hand touch the other hand. Like a game of tag or freeze, you do not move that arm till that other hand reaches around and slaps it physically. If I don't have them hit their other hand physically, then it's all based on feeling. And unfortunately, in swimming, all we know is what we know. And if you are already having bad patterns or you are not swimming efficiently, then how can you convince somebody that they're going to do something correct if they're currently not? So again, we want to have that physical feeling of hand hitting the hand. Lap 3, we continue hand hits the hand drill. Reason being is because it does take a while to really develop that feeling, sort of breaking the rules of what you think swimming really is and feels like. Right now, if you were to ask them what's one word that describes the way that you feel while you're swimming, most likely it feels weird, it feels awkward, it feels different. That's always good because we're trying to change the patterns that they already have set in stone, which is what they know swimming is. Lap 4. Again, as the laps keep building, the hand hits the hand drill gets a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. As you can tell, they're actually being able to stay a little bit longer in the water, meaning that they're not taking as many strokes as before. When you take too many strokes, you start to spin through the water, and that is essentially it has very, very little efficiency in it, and unfortunately it gets you more tired, and you're working a lot harder. Having the hand hits the hand forces them to glide a little bit, reach out a little bit more so that they can lengthen their stroke. Lap 5. I finally am very happy with the way lap 4 ended up with the hand hits the hand, so I feel like it's time to move on to step 2. Keep their interest up and make sure that they also feel very positive, very encouraged that they're actually doing it right instead of being discouraged. Thumb hits the thigh, allows them to get a complete underwater pull. From the time they enter the water to the time they hit their thumb to their thigh, they're achieving that 180-degree pull. When you're able to achieve that full pull, again, now you're able to cover more distance per stroke, allowing your stroke to become more efficient. Lap 6. We're still working on thumb hits the thigh as well as the hand hits the hand. If you've ever swam, you'll notice that your attention span, no matter what age you are, is very, very little. Reason being is because there's a lack of oxygen There's that timing of breathing, and then there's that focus of what each hand should be doing while the legs should be doing something else as well. If that's not multitasking, I really don't know what is, and that is why I really stick to my first 3 steps. Hand hits the hand, thumb hits the thigh, and then that last one, working on the breathing. Lap 7, that thumb hits the thigh, looked great. Hand hits the hand, looked great. So why not give them a little bit more of a challenge? Now we achieve the lay your head on your pillow. Laying your head on your pillow is the easiest way to learn how to breathe without interrupting your stroke. If you can tell very closely, every time they breathe, they pause, meaning that they come to a complete stop, and then they have to sort of create some more momentum with their arms and their legs to get them back to speed. This is very, very common and is the #1 technique that every swimmer, including your Olympians, work on a daily basis to prevent them from interrupting their stroke. Lap 8. We finally have all 3 steps together. Hand hits the hand, thumb hits the thigh, lay your head on that pillow, also known as your shoulder. It is very, very hard to allow that arm to stay up, laying your head on your pillow, flipping on your side and breathing, because we're used to moving a body part to be able to move through the water. And if we don't move a body part, we sort of feel like we're going to come to a complete stop and we're going to sort of drown or sort of go under. And that's the last thing that we want. But with these 3 steps, I'm trying to, again, break everything up so that they understand that, guess what? You don't always need to move in order to really propel yourself through the water. Lap 9 is a perfect example of how all 3 steps have really become overwhelming. And the lack of oxygen, the fatigue in their muscles, again, them practicing non-stop, is getting to them mentally. And they're starting to overanalyze it, or maybe it's becoming too hard and they start to give up, and it's a lot easier to go back to their old patterns, their old stroke. So I look at this and I immediately know that I have reached their peak, meaning that now I have to allow them a little bit more rest, talk to them a little bit more, and make them realize that, hey, if something is out of whack, meaning that the hand hits the hand is not working, thumb hits the thigh is not working, or the side breathing feels like you're swallowing more water than air, always go back to step 1. You can never go wrong with step 1. Hand hits the hand. I told them do not focus on step 2 or step 3, because if we do not have step 1, we cannot move to step 2 nor 3. Lap 11. Concentrating on step 1 and 2. Now they have the full understanding of hand hits the hand, thumb hits the thigh, and who cares about the breathing? Again, the breathing is the breathing. It's going to take us a while to get, but I want them to learn that if something goes out of whack, we always go back to step 1. Just like always having a backup plan for any type of scenario we encounter on a day-to-day basis. Always being able to think without feeling desperate and making irrational decisions. Lap 12, we finally were able to achieve step 1, then step 2, and then let's put it all back together, step 1, 2, and 3. As you can tell, they look a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident in their stroke. Look how far they glide, look how much distance they cover per stroke. Again, the breathing to me is one of the hardest things to learn, therefore I'm not too hard on the breathing. I'd rather be a little bit more hard on the hand hits the hand and thumb hits the thigh, because again, the breathing comes with time. As long as they know that that arm stays up, allowing that head to lay comfortably on that shoulder, that's that's as much as you can do till it starts to work itself out in the end. This is a short video clip. Again, it shows how powerful and how simple these 3 steps really are. Hand hits the hand, thumb hits the thigh, lay your head on the pillow, also known as your shoulder, will allow the foundation for the freestyle, also known as a front crawl, to be able to achieve more efficiency.